Hello and welcome everyone to round number 7 here at League of Europe for division number 4. Coming to you from Australia here on the F1 2020 game. But before we do get into anything, I know Gary and myself have to give a quick tribute out to Mary Walker. He did just pass away, and we should be doing a little tribute at the beginning of the race, but honestly, before we even get into any of the proceedings here for round number 7, we have to give all the respect that he really needs. Gary, do you have anything that you would want to say out there just here at the beginning of the stream?
Yeah, it's just a big shame that Murray Walker has sadly passed away. To many people, he probably is the voice of Formula One and has given great memories to everyone in racing, in motorsport, with just fantastic commentary, and it's just a real shame that he's passed away. And yeah, it's just a big shame that he's passed away. But his legacy will live on forever, like all legends' legacies do.
Yeah, most definitely, Gary. I was unlucky enough to not be able to watch Formula
Same.
One in the area or in the era that he was the main commentator, and he mentioned the voice of Formula One. It would have been an absolute pleasure to be able to watch him and see what he did on a weekend or on a every other weekend basis. But yeah, that would have been amazing. But now we can get into the intro here for round number 4. Or round number 7 for Division 4. Let's take a quick look over to Killer Instincts and Jav's judgments. For Division 4, Brandon 45667, the American, predicted for a good result. He did have a P1 and P2, as said by Killer Instincts in the Twitter graphic at Canada Monaco. So yeah, really looking good on those streets. Circuit for Jav, it's going to be Ryan B, as predicted for a top 5 finish. So he's looking at Ryan B to have a good result. 2 second places already to his name at Austria and last time out in China. But let's also now take a quick look at the championship standing. It's Forza Brendan and Frosty Calvin, 2 Alpha Towers leading up at the front, 70 and 61 points respectively. But yeah, Forza Brendan right now on a little bit of a roll of form, or well, just both Alpha Towers in general. Forza Brendan taking the win last time in China and Frosty Calvin taking the win in Monaco.
Yeah, of course, Forza Brendan broke the streak of having a different race winner. First 6 races, first 6 races or 5 races. Sorry, we had 5 different winners, and Forza Brendan became the first 2-time race winner this season after taking the win at China. And now we'll be looking to kick on. He's got a 9-point championship lead. It's still extremely tight in Division 4, as it has been all season. No one really been able to take a real firm grip of the championship, and be interesting to see if the Irishman can kick on now. Because we've seen his teammate last week, Frosty Calvin, who won in Monaco, had a very disappointing race by his standards in China, only picking up 2 points. So, yeah, consistency still seems to be an issue here in Division 4. But Forza Brendan will be hoping to kick on now after that win. And just a quick shout out to Ryan B, who I think is having a very quiet season, and he's moved himself up into 3rd in the championship. He's not getting the plaudits he probably deserves at the moment. He's having a very quiet season, but he's getting the job done, and he's definitely right in the championship fight, only 12 points off Forza Brendan at the moment.
Yeah, currently is quietly carrying Alfa Romeo up into 3rd in the Constructors' Championship by a good 26-ish points to Racing Point behind. And he's only 4 points behind Williams of the 2 drivers Heated and Goldie. Goldie started off the season with 2 third places. Heated last time out had pole position, but didn't have the greatest of races at the Shanghai International Circuit. But going over here towards the Melbourne Grand Prix circuit. So it's going to be interesting to see what these drivers can do. It's all going to be very, very dependent on qualifying. We did see rain in the race last time. It was really a mix between if you wanted to be on the dries or the intermediates. The later of those two were probably the better decision. To my I don't know. I don't really know how to put this, but to my disappointment is everyone chose the Inters. I would have liked to see a few soft tires out there. Jav in the chat as always, because he is not racing. Or I do believe he did not.
Yeah, he is.
He is?
Racing.
Oh, I thought I looked in the F1 not attendance, but he said he didn't. But I guess he is going to be here. All 16 corners as we load into the short qualifying session for 18 minutes. All 16 corners should be ready for the drivers here. But once again, it's going to be absolutely crucial to get qualifying right. You have to be right on the limit. And it's very, very easy to invalidate as well.
Yeah, like you said, you got to really push here to find time. And then on the other hand, it is extremely difficult, very easy to invalidate, as like to turn 1 and 11 and 12 can be really corners that are quite easy to invalidate. And yeah, like you were saying, qualifying, very important. Track position is king around this track. Dirty air is extremely difficult to overtake here. And the ultra track's quite OP here if you can get through the traffic, but that is the most difficult part of this track, really. It's street circuits. Street circuits are notoriously difficult to overtake, and Melbourne is no different. But personally, it's a great track to drive around in qualifying. Not so much in the race, so it'll be interesting to see how the drivers get on here in the qualifying session. And thankfully it's dry, because I think we've had enough rain in Division 4 for a little while yet.
Yeah, definitely on that point, Gary. But I think Goldie should be the first driver out onto the circuit for this short short qualifying session. I have a questionable camera angle, but there we go. It has decided to fix itself. But yeah, Goldie looking to be the first driver out there. Has been on a little bit of a downturn recently, though. Actually. Yeah, okay, never mind. I was looking at the wrong person. But yeah, 2 third places and a 4th to kick off his season, and then 12th, 11th, and 12th. So he's looking to bring that back up, trying to get that form that he had from the first 3 rounds of the season. So he's going to be looking to get out there early. Marty, interestingly, in the pits, has just exited the pit lane, and he's going to be out on the medium tires. So that's going to be a little bit bizarre to see from these drivers, but or from Marty there in the run now. He's the only driver who has selected the mediums in to go out there. So he's going to be on that balanced tire strategy. But yeah, Goldie right now coming to the final sector, just heading through turn 13. Let's see what he could do on his first flying lap.
Yeah, he's gone for quite a quick outlap, which I wouldn't recommend. Tire temp, isn't a big issue here, but it can towards the end of the lap become a factor. So just a little surprised that he went full pelt on the outlap as he begins his first flying lap of the session.
Yeah, just about to cross the line to start that first flying lap here for round number 7 here at the Melbourne Grand Prix circuit. Breaking into turn 1, going down to 5th gear, missing the apex just a little bit, but you can use more on the exit there, but uses weight or a little bit too much there on the exit of turn 2. Getting into the grass just on the inside, but not breaking into turn 3. A little bit on the curve there, going down to 2nd gear, and then going to be short shifting up to 4th through turn 4. Very difficult to get correct. Now through the flat out right-hander of turn 5. You can use all the track there on the exit. Now down towards turn number 6. Very easy to get over the curb there and into the grass and lose a lot of time or even invalidate there. But now through the flat out right-hander of turn 8, going down toward the very difficult chicane of turn 9 and 10, turning in very early, getting all over the inside curb there, and now exiting through turn 10. We saw Robert Kubica in 2019 hit the wall there, saying he had too much grip. But Goldie doing fine for the time being. Turning in for turn 11. The 11 and 12, very, very difficult to get right, and you want to carry as much speed as possible. Purple in the middle sector for the Williams driver, as he is the first driver to cross that second sector split. Now into turn 13, a little bit deep though, not carrying the speed he would have wanted. Into the third to last corner, very easy to carry too much speed and invalidate on the exit. Braking into the penultimate corner, trying to get the best run possible onto the front straight. Up to 5th gear, trying to get as much traction as possible, staying all the way to the left to get the shortest run to the line. Goldie across the line to set the first lap time. It's a 20.4 for the Williams driver. Didn't look too bad for him, but I'm sure he has a ton of more time than that.
Yeah, as we have a few spinners, Marty's out of the session. He's lost it in sector 1, and same for Spec from Don. He lost it at 11 and 12, which can happen very often. As Frosty Calvin absolutely does a stonking lap. He does a 19.7, first driver into the 19s, and by a comfort margin. I was doing a bit of practice with Frosty Calvin during the week, and he seems extremely quick here in quali at least. So yeah, he's started off qualifying as he would want, as I think we've got a couple of more cars to come across the line. Let me just find, I think we've got ISR Jordan now completing his lap in the Alfa Romeo. What can he do? It's going to be a 21.1, and that puts him 9th, slowest of the drivers to have set a lap so far. So a bit of a field spread at the moment, but only 9 drivers managing to get a lap in on their first runs. So plenty of invalidations out there on the track.
Yeah, it looks like TTD Storm is going to be the next driver to cross the line. And once again, these drivers are going to be in 5th gear out of the final corner, trying to find as much time as possible on the absolute limit. 20.8 for the Mercedes driver, so he's going to be going up into 8th position, 2/10 clear of ramp. But I did see in the YouTube channel chat in the League of Europe Discord, as Backman's crossed the line to start a lap. I think Frosted Calvin posted a 119 point, it was either a flat or a 0.1, so he looked very, very strong earlier on in the week. Let's see if he can convert that into the actual session and put up put up a good lap time and secure that what would be a very, very crucial crucial pole position. It's not Monaco or Hungary, but Australia is one of those tracks that's going to be so very difficult to overtake and make those moves, and especially make your way up through the field if you're going to be lower down on the grid.
Yeah, dirty air just seems to be very prominent here at this track for whatever reason. Very difficult to follow out of the last corner and turn 1, which lead on to the best overtaking positions of turn 1 and turn 3. So like it's very difficult to follow through those corners and to make a charge or an overtaking position. So that's why this track is so qualifying dependent. I think Bag of Bones now is completing his lap, the only driver at the moment I think to be on a hot lap. He just went through 11 and 12 now into 13. Very difficult on traction, very easy to spin the rear tyres and go out spinning into the wall. Just 2 more corners to navigate. Probably 2 trickiest corners on the track of 15 and 16. Takes a bit too much curve into 15 now. He quick upshift through 16. Very easy once again to lose traction. And now it's just a straight on health to the line. And what can he do? It's a 1 minute 20.8, and that puts him up into 9th position for the moment. So not the worst lap in the world, but definitely more time in that for the Racing Point driver.
Yeah, most definitely. Just inside that top 10, though. The strategy here, as we can, there's a little bit of a lull in qualifying right now as all the drivers get out onto their second runs. We'll be leaving the pit lane very shortly. Goldie already out there for his second lap of the session. Jav, we're going to be riding on board for the time being. He's actually invalidated on the exit of turn 4 there. So let's get on board with another driver. It might be Major Falcon just breaking into turn 3, the Russian Grand Prix winner. Let's see what he can do here in Australia. Russia, known for very low grip. Australia has the same characteristics here through all 16 corners. 5.3 kilometers, 3.3 miles for these drivers. Major Falcon, 26.4 in that first sector. It looks purple for the Haas driver. Let's see what he can do. Through 8, he's going to be taking the shortest line to the braking zone of turn number 9 into third gear, staying well away from that curb on the inside. If you touch that curb, it can really unsettle your car, and he does not want that. He wants the ultimate stability to get the best traction through 11, trying to use all the track that he is possibly given, having a little bit of a liftoff through 8 there, going up to 8th gear just on the exit. Spectron John is going to be to his right side, braking into turn 13, staying in 4th gear for the exit, but now down to 5th and back up to 6th. Through the third to last corner, breaking into the penultimate corner, having a little bit of an early turn in, but staying in 3rd gear, but he's going to be finishing this lap out. 5th gear, out of the final corner, opening up the DRS. Very difficult is that final corner. It's very easy to spin on the exit, but he's not going to be doing that across the line. It's P7. He was purple in that first sector, but lost a little bit of time through the middle in the last to Frosty Calvin's current provisional pole time.
Yeah, it's, by his standards, probably not the cleanest lap, and definitely more in there for Major Falcon, of course, a race winner already this season, and he'd be open to continue that form. As I was on board him, he's gone straight on at turn 3. I'm not too sure what's happened there, maybe just getting out of the way of people, but yeah, we've got a flurry of cars now going on their second laps. I think Brandon now is on a lap, coming up now into the second or first Delta split. He's 700s up on his time, so it's looking fairly clean so far by the Renault driver now as he comes around turn 8. Not really a corner that's going to bother him too much, but these 2 corners will of 9 and 10, like you said, don't want to take too much curve. He takes a lot of curve, but it doesn't really unsettle his car on traction. And yeah, there we go. That's what we were saying, too much curve at 9, and that's going to unsettle the car, and he's gone straight into the wall there, and that's definitely his lap for the moment over, as damage wing. He ain't going to improve on his lap time.
Ooh, Forza Brendan.
Forza Brendan.
Yeah, Forza Brendan just going in behind his teammate there on the 3rd row of the grid. It looks like he's going to be going again, so possibly having enough fuel for 2 runs there. But Goldie's getting the next driver across the line. He improves by 2.5 tenths and puts himself on the front row of the grid. He goes 300ths in front of Brandon there in the Renault. So Goldie looking like a possible challenger here for the Australian Grand Prix, looking for a good result. He's been on a little bit of a downturn, as we mentioned earlier on. But Ryan B, currently 3rd in the championship. Where can he put him on the grid? 2nd on the grid, the second driver into the 1 minute 19.9, barely into the 0.9s, but it's still 2nd on the grid. The second Williams driver of Heated had pole position last time out, but he's invalid and he backed off, so he's going to be going for another one. There's a Ferrari driver, that was Camel, going up into P6 there. Rev just crossing the line, he goes up into P9. Sam T, he was leading the championship for a little while, crosses the line, goes 2nd on the grid. He improves by 6 tenths and goes purple in the final sector. I think that was Jordan who just crossed the line there as well. He's going to be improving up into P13. But yeah, Sam T, Ryan B, Goldie, all improving there on their laps, as well as Brandon, or both Brandon and Brendan. So the top 6, all except for Frosty Calvin, have improved on their laps. But Frosty Calvin right now, still in that first lap time that he set.
Yeah, Frosty Calvin still taking pole position as he's preparing to start his second lap. But yeah, extremely tight at the front as always, and we got a lot of the championship contenders right at the front, which is what we want to see. We want to see them battle out on track. And Goldie in P4 at the moment having a really good qualifying, like you said earlier on. Struggled a little bit race results wise the last 3 races. He'd be looking to get back on top form, and at the moment he's doing exactly that with a great qualifying so far to put himself up into P4. As I think a lot of drivers are going to be coming into the pits now after completing their flying lap. Frosty Calvin, the man on pole, is about to embark on his second run, so let's see what he can do in the AlphaTauri. He's already done a stonk in 19.7, so let's see what he can do as he heads into turn 1. It's very easy to invalidate on the exit, but he takes it nice and cautious, doesn't want to take too much inside curb to unsettle the car. And now he comes down into turn 3. Very easy to lose traction. It's very easy to lose traction in almost every corner here. Go through 4 now. Doesn't want to take too much curb, will invalidate. Now into 6 and 7, and now let's see what's the delta split gonna be. He's already 2 tenths up on his lap. This is an absolute flying lap by Goldie. Now, not Goldie, sorry, Frosty Calvin has got through 8 now into the tricky turn 9 and 10 chicane. Takes a lot of curb, but doesn't really seem to bother his car too much. Now around up into the chicane of 11 and 12. Very easy to invalidate, but you got to fully commit to find the time. And he's out 3 tenths up. This is an absolute flying lap by Frosty Calvin so far. And he's going to absolutely obliterate the rest of the field with this time if he can keep it together in the final sector. Now into 13. Doesn't want to go too wide, and he's done it nicely now. 15. Again, very easy to invalidate if he goes too wide. Hits the curb beautifully now into 16. 2 more corners to go. Right on traction once again on 17. Quick upshift to 5th gear. Get the best traction possible, and he comes across the line. What's it going to be? This is going to be a flyer. It's a 19.325. Oh, by half a second. And we've seen him do this before. We've seen him do it in Monaco where he had a similar gap to the rest of the field. That's just ridiculous by the AlphaTauri driver.
Yeah, you would think that he had quite a pretty decent pace advantage over the rest of the field, but he's still second in the championship, not leading, but his teammate is leading, so he's currently getting the job done for AlphaTauri in the Constructors' Championship. While we were on board with Frosty Calvin there, I noticed that Excel Cali improved up into P9 there, just barely inside the top 10. Major Falcons on a lap, just exiting turn 10, but also is Brandon in the Renault. On the third row of the grid right now for the Renault driver, so looking pretty decent. Killer's Instincts has yet to curse him in this session quite yet. 5 minutes left on the clock. Let's see what he can do, but he backs off, so he's going to be decides not to finish that lap out, looking to go for another one. He should have more tires to complete that on. Jab out of the final corner, going to the right side of the circuit, looking across the line. 21.1 for Jab, so he's going to be going last of the drivers who have set a valid lap time for the time being. Pole Depots, I think, is just going into turn 9 there. Major Falcons next drive across the line. He was up, and he goes up into P3, improves by 0.6 of a second, so that's a good lap for him there. Hair Noir just crossing the line to start a lap. I think that's going to be Frosty Calvin after setting that amazing lap time. He's going to be next driver to cross the line, as well as Sam T, who's on an out lap. He was leading the championship earlier on in the season, looked absolutely dominant. He's got himself into a full-time seat before the last race in China, and now he's already looking very, very strong and getting comfortable inside the inside the British outfit. So yeah, Sam T right now second on the grid. Let's see what he can do. There's still 4 minutes left in the qualifying session, so let's see what he can do. He's just starting a lap now, and he's looking to improve.
Yeah, he's got to find a lot of time if he wants to manage to get pole. He got the Red Bull spec on, just getting in his way slightly. Not the most conventional way to get over driver's way in qualify, but nonetheless that will be a bit of distraction for Sam T. He's got through 5. And what's Delta split gonna be? He's 2 tenths up, so he's looking good so far. This is a decent first sector by Sam T. He wants to challenge the AlphaTauri or Frosty Calvin and round 8. So he's got to find a few more tenths if he wants to challenge for pole position, but he's not looking too bad yet. The Mercedes driver of 9 and 10 takes it very nicely. It's looked like a clean, quick lap so far by Sam T. We'll just wait to see what the second Delta split is. He's 3 tenths up, so he's going to be right in the mix come the last sector if he can keep this together through 11 and 12, which he does very nicely indeed. So he's only got a handful of corners left to get through if he wants to challenge for pole position. Now into 13, he's on a flyer. This is a great lap by Samson. You can just tell through 50 or 14, sorry, and now down into 15. Very hard breaking zone now. Quick upshift to fourth, then fifth through 16, and yeah, this looked a great lap by the Mercedes driver so far. Just going to definitely challenge Frosty Cal this time, and it's 800th off. So Frosty Cal is not going to have it all his own way, but I think that's Sam T's session done now. Just will not have enough time to get back into the pits and go out again. But great effort by the Mercedes driver to put himself right in the mix near the front.
Yeah, most definitely. Goldie coming out of the penultimate corner there. He was not able to improve on his lap time, and he's going to be coming into the pit lane, so he's not going to be improving even more. I think Pulley Pose, after going up into P5, is going to be into the pit lane as well, looking to do another lap, but he's going to be very, very close on time if he wants to set that lap time. But Brandon, I think, is going to be one of the next drivers on a lap, but it's actually going, or it should be Ramp, just coming through the final few corners there, but heated just as I clicked off his name, was purple in the middle sector. Let's see what the Williams driver can do, but first it's going to be the Ferrari of Ramp from P12 to P11. He finds one position in 600ths of a second. Excel Cali just coming out of the pit lane, the guy that Ramp replaced on the front of that sixth row of the grid. Heated out of the penultimate corner. We have an Alfa Romeo off, going down towards turn 13. Just getting out of the way, I think, is the Alfa Romeo driver. That should be Ryan B. But now heated out of the final corner across the line. It's going to be a 20.1. He finds 2.5 tenths. Goes just in behind his teammate on the fourth row of the grid. And Alpha Tower is going to be coming out of the final corner. Major Falcons off on track at turn 1. I think that's going to be, that was Forza Brennan just crossed the line. He's going to be starting a lap. The Alfa Romeo of ISRL Jordan. He's on an all lap, so he's going to be starting one as well. Ryan B. also in the Alfa Romeo looking to start a lap. 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the session, and Brandon is on a lap. Just exiting out of turn 12 there. It's a 10th up in the middle sector, so this could put him into the low mid, or the 20.0. If he can find himself into the 19s and improve on that 19, he could be onto the second row of the grid. But now through the rest of the final sector, breaking into turn number 15, staying in third gear though. Interestingly enough, we normally see most drivers go down to second. There's a yellow flag in the just behind the Renault driver in the final sector, but crosses the line. 19.9. He finds 2 tenths and puts himself third, so even further up the field than he could have probably hoped for, unless he has more time in that lap, but he won't have time to improve. Ramp crosses the line. He's coming into the pit lane. I think Bagabones should be the next driver to cross the line. No, he's just going into turn 1 there. Frosty Calvin starting a lap. And the Mercedes of Samty has retired TG Storm in the Mercedes as well. He's not going to be improving. Heated and validated on his lap, and is not going to be improving either. The Haas driver, that should be Major Falcon, but I think he's going to be starting a lap. So let's get on board with the Red Bull. Most drivers here are going to be starting laps, but Forza Brennan should probably be the next driver to cross the line. He was down in the middle sector, so looking to start another lap here.
Yeah, he backed off. I was on board with him. He backed off and decided to go again. Don't know if his tyres are going to tank him for that, but it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Pressure really on the championship leader now as he's down in P10.
Yeah, Goldie, though, who literally just barely crossed the line with enough time to start another lap. He's going to be in he's in P8 right now. Let's see if he can improve. He's going to have the best track conditions possible. Harry Noir, I think that's Poldy Post just across the line. He's going to be finishing on a 20.005. He's not going to be able to improve. He's not going to be starting any higher than 5th or 6th on the grid. The Racing Point of Bagabones, 20.8 right now for the Racing Point drive. Let's see what he can do throughout the rest of the final sector. Exiting the final corner, there's a Renault off, I think just getting out of the way of TTG Storm, going to be finishing a lap, but Bagabones improves by half a second, 20.308 for the Racing Point driver, and puts him on poor man's pole position. But his Racing Point teammate, he is up out of the middle sector. Let's see what he can do. He finds 2.5 tenths. He's going to be barely in P10 there. So this actually could be a little bit of a disadvantage to him. Brandon going to be coming into the pits. Major Falcon, he wasn't improving. He was invalidated, so he's going to be coming into the pits as well. He is going to be following them in as well. Is Frosty Calvin across the line? He's not going to be improving, so it's going to be his Alpha Tower teammate, Forza Brendan. He was not up in the middle sector to see if he can find anything in the final sector. I wouldn't imagine so. He's not going to be able to find, or he found 200ths of a second, but not enough to improve. Spectrum Don across the line. He stays 16th. His Red Bull teammate just coming into the pits. He was not improving. Jordan coming into the pits as well. So I think most drivers are going to be finished here. So it's going to be Frosty Calvin on pole position by 7 or 800ths of a second almost to Sam T. That was a great lap there from Frosty Calvin, and almost from the beginning of the session, it looked like he could never lose it.
Yeah, that's his second pole position, of course, after he walked it in Monaco, basically. Not just a big margin this time. Sam T ran him all the way, but yeah, great lap by the AlphaTauri. And we've seen before, he's very comfortable driving at the front and controlling the race. It's when he's a little further back where he has to deal with a couple of cars where he's seen him struggle. But yeah, nonetheless, Forza Brendan has to be the standout or disappointment in this qualifying session. The championship leader who won last week's race all the way down in 11. Poor man's pole position, not the worst place to be, but a track that is extremely difficult to overtake. It's not exactly where he wants to be right now.
Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, Frosty Calvin, Sam T in a league of their own here in Division 4 for round number 7, the Australian Grand Prix. The American of Brendan going to be in P3, upping the rest of the field pretty much. Major Falcon, Ryan B, Poldy Poles, Camel, Goldie, Heated Cal are going to be the top 10. Forza Brendan, as you mentioned, is going to be on poor man's pole position. Harry Noir, Bag of Bones, Ramp, Jordan Spectron, Don, TGG Storm, Jav, and Marty are going to be the rest of the field. Marty DNFing very, very early on into the session. He's the only driver not to set a lap time, so he's going to be starting from dead last year, P number 19, as we head into round number 7 for this race. I don't think there's going to be any rain, considering the lap times that we did see. Jev saying that he put on a Bahrain setup for Australia, so that could be a reason to why he's struggling. So yeah. Frosty Calvin looking to possibly take that championship lead away from his teammate, but Forza Brendan, it's going to be interesting to see what he can do on that alternate strategy.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work now if he wants to get near the front and maintain his championship lead, as he's got his teammate now in the best seat of the house in P1, who's going to be his favourite basically right now after qualifying to win this race. And if he wins the race, he'll take the championship lead. So I might have a bit of an inter battle with the AlphaTauris, a la Mercedes 2016 with Rosberg and Hamilton. We'll see as the season goes on if that comes to fruition and we see those guys on track a bit more close to each other and maybe even making some contact. But yeah, this will be interesting to see what everyone outside top 10 will go for. I'd be surprised if anyone goes for a set of softs, because if you're outside top 10 you might as well try something different, but we'll wait and see now. Thankfully no rain for the time being, and hopefully it stays like that, because I think we've had enough of rain in Division 4. And just have a quick look of the tyres. And yeah, Storm, the only driver outside top 10 to go onto a set of softs down in 17th, so he's going to go for something a little different to the rest of the top 10. Of course, Forza Brendan as well, actually, in P11. I'm surprised he's gone onto softs, given his on pole position, or man's pole position, really. And then you've got Harina Wall, got mediums, Bag of Bones on hards, and then you've got the 3 more medium runs with Ramp, Jordan, and Spectron Don, and then at the rear of the field, you've got Jab and Marty, both on hards. So they're going to be going long into this race.
Yeah, exactly, Gary. But yeah, Frosty Calvin leading us through the first sector here on the formation lap. Let's see what he can do. He's going to have those worn tires. All the drivers inside the top 10 are going to be on those worn soft tires. But let's see what Forza Brendan can do. We'll have to keep an eye out for him on the first lap, as well as the TTG Storm. Both of them are going to, or should be, on fresh, soft compound tires, unless they used, if they did choose all 4 sets. If they used all 4 sets, they're going to be on worn soft tires, but looking to make their way through the field early on. But up at the front of the field, Frosty Calvin is going to be looking to pull away. He was able to do it in Monaco, and I think he did win this race. He did win that race. So let's see what he can do. He also had a second place in Canada, so street circuits really looking to favor him. But early championship contender Sam T, who's found himself in a full-time seat. Let's see what he can do also, just getting into all 29 laps here at the Melbourne Grand Prix circuit.
Yeah, this is a big race for people like Sam T and Goldie, who championship title aspirations have taken a bit of a hit over the last couple of races. So they'll be looking to put things right here at the Melbourne circuit. As Frosty Calvin comes up now to the grid, and we'll just wait now for the rest of the drivers to line up on the grid, and we will be getting going.
Yeah, now I just have to remember to do the thing that was discussed in the commentators chat. Just have to remember. But yeah, Marty is going to be the last driver to slot into his grid position just a little bit further off the back of the field. So the drivers up at the front of the field are going to have a little bit colder tires, but Marty on those hards is going to be should have the in theory, the best temperature out of all the drivers in the field. Jav going over to the right side of the circuit. Marty going to be slotting into that P19 grid spot just behind TGG Storm. But let's get up to the front of the field. Let's see what Frosty Calvin can do on the first lap. What can the other drivers do just in behind? It's going to be interesting. All 29 laps here. It's going to be such a great race here at Division 4, one of the closest divisions here in League of Europe. But once these lights get on, we can get this one underway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. long hold, and it's go, go, go for these drivers here up at the front of the field. A little bit of a graphical glitch for these guys, but Frosty Calvin's going to be covering off Sam T into turn number 1. Major Falcon trying to look to the inside, but Brandon is going to be up into P3. Major Falcon with a little bit of a slide there on the exit of that second corner, but now drivers spreading out up at the front of the field. Ryan B trying to challenge for that second place. Sam T on the outside of Brandon there at turn number 3. The Renault and the Mercedes going side by side through the first half of this middle sector, now into the fast parts of this first sector, but Sam T has solidified that second place, but Frosty Calvin has absolutely run away at the front of the field. He's going to be leading very, very convincingly, but right now Sam T, Brandon, Ryan B, followed by Major Falcon very, very closely after the end of that first sector. What a great start there for Frosty Calvin. He has no competition through that first end, possibly through these first 3 sectors. Let's see what he can do. Could he possibly break DRS and absolutely run away with this one?
Yeah, great start by the pole sitter in the AlphaTauri. We got a spinner. We got the 2 Red Bulls. I think have made a bit of contact back there. I think it's Spectre Rondon and Marty have made contact, and they both have significant damage. So no VSC or anything for the time being. So we'll still have green flag racing. But Goldie made a great start. He's up 1 position, but I seen him made a double overtake. I think on heated and Pody Poles. And Pody Poles a big loser out on this. He started in P6 and is down to P9 already. So he's got some work to do as the field starts to bunch up ever more. But Frosty Calvin has said goodbye and is absolutely flying. He's already got 2 second gap to Sam T as the graphic finally fixes itself. So yeah, he's in a field of his own right now. That is ridiculous first lap by AlphaTauri. That's exactly how he would have planned it.
Yeah, I saw Jordan just a little bit further down the field, trying to make a move on Bag of Bones. He's going to be looking to make the move down towards turn 3, but he's drifting it through turn 1, trying to get that move. He's going to be on the medium tires, so he's going to be on the softer compound, should have the better grip, and will eventually make that move on the racing point of Bag of Bones. So he's going to be putting himself into P14, but Storm on those fresh soft tires has made his way up to P13, as well as Forza Brendan is going to be up into P8, so he's looking very, very good on those fresher tires. But let's see what he can do throughout the rest. It's not going to be lap 1 anymore. The field will not be that bunched up for a long time and possibly never in this race. So let's see what he can do on that pure race pace. He's going to be in the dirty air, but it's going to be interesting to see. But right now, Goldie, who's starting to fall off a little bit of the top 5 right now, but Goldie seems to be putting on the pressure on the drivers in front, but also Harry DeWarg on the mediums is in a great position as well. Forza Brendan possibly challenging Goldie into turn 13, but he's not going to be close enough. The AlphaTauri on those fresh tires is still stuck behind the Williams of Goldie.
Yeah, he had a great start, starting in 11th, already up 3 positions. And now this is the hard part, the train, it's a dirty air. This is where it's going to be very difficult to overtake. But Goldie is right on the back of the Ferrari, but in turn, Forza Brendan's right on the back of Goldie himself, as Frosty Calvin does the fastest lap of the race, as you'd expect out in front. Gap now 2.5 seconds. He's really gone. He's just checked out. Sebastian Vettel, back in the Red Bull days-esque, just getting away straight away, not letting the driver get DRS or anything like that. Forza Brendan's going to use a lot of overtake. Going to go around the outside of turn 3 on Goldie, but Goldie's going to cover it off, give him a bit of a squeeze. Fair enough, he was entitled to do that, and as Major Falcon picks up a 3-second penalty already in P5. That's huge, only 3 laps in, and he's already picked up a 5 penalty.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely huge for his race. He's going to have to try and make his way through the field, but he's not doing that right now. It's lap 3. DRS is going to be enabled once or on the run between turn 12 and turn 13, and he's just barely out of DRS range now. But right now, Forza Brendan trying to make the move on Goldie, but they spin off into almost into the barrier there. Pole is going to be taking advantage of this, but now the 2 Williams are going to be very, very close out on track. Goldie and Forza Brendan hitting each other on the exit of turn 9 there. Forza Brendan looking for the move on the second Williams driver of heated, so he's now not only going to have 1 Williams driver in front of him, but he's going to have both of them. Goldie right now trying to challenge the McLaren in front of him. He's lost so much time in the drivers in front, but Forza Brendan on the inside of turn 9 in contact between the 2 drivers. Now they drop down many, many positions.
Yeah, not the greatest idea by Forza Brendan. You have to say turn 9 not the most known overtaking position. He's getting the inside curve as we got another yellow flag. That's Marty. He's had another spin. But yeah, turn 9 not the greatest overtaking position for Forza Brendan, and he's lost out hugely, as has Goldie. And so that's going to compromise their races a lot. It was just so difficult to update because Goldie now, Goldie gets all out of shape of turn 1. He's going to have his teammate Heated all over the back of him, and Heated might have a move here. And Goldie going to let him through. I think Goldie's let him by, and now Goldie down to P9, Heated up to P8, and now we got a rematch of Forza Brendan and Goldie all over again.
Yeah, but this time Goldie should learn from his mistakes this time. Don't let Forza Brennan up the inside of you at turn number 9. There could be absolute fireworks there. But now Goldie has his he had his teammate behind him, but it seems those soft tires are really struggling. Maybe took a little bit too much out of them in the qualifying session just a few minutes ago. But yeah, Goldie going to be staying in that P9 position for the time being. Forza Brennan right now P10. He's in the third to last point scoring position, but he looks pretty decent so far. Just getting caught up in a few incidents. But Ryan B up in 4th place is going to be picking up that first time penalty. So him and Major Falcon really trying to stay with the other 2 drivers up in front. But as Forza Brennan now picks up a time penalty as well. So a few drivers picking up time penalties right now. That's going to be absolutely huge. We're only 4 laps into this race and they're already picking up time penalties. But once again, we can take a look up at the front of the field. Frosty Calvin, 2.6 seconds is the lead. He's been pulling very slowly, but he's pulling nonetheless.
Yeah, that first lap just helped him massively, and you have Brandon in P3 trying to hang with Sam T. He doesn't seem to have the pace. He's used a lot of BRS compared to Brandon.
Oh!
Got a spin. That's Forza Brendan. Forza Brendan lost it out of turn 16. I'm not sure if you've seen what happened. I didn't anyway. I think he's got front wing damage. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't have front wing damage. And that's put him back of the field. That's going to be heartbreak. Yeah, he's got right or left. No, he's got no damage. So he just lost it out of turn 16. So that's a big shame for the Alpha Tower driver. That's dropping down to 16th, and that's going to mean huge implementations for his championship fight.
Yeah, exactly. He does have his teammate and his championship contender up in the lead of the race, but right now Forza Brennan not scoring any points, and he's going to be on the weaker of the strategy of the drivers all around him. He's going to have to pit very early on for those hard compound tires if he wants to take them to the end. But yeah, right now, with the incidents between Goldie and Forza Brennan, the field has really started to spread out. Obviously, Sam T couldn't help but the other drivers behind him trying to make those moves and trying to get up into those track position or into the positions on track. Frosty Calvin through almost a 3-second lead here to Sam T, but 1.5 seconds to Brendan, who's used almost all of his ERS just trying to stick with the Mercedes. Ryan B 8/10 back, Major Falcon 6/10 back, but Camel crucially right now is out of DRS range, and he's pulling poles, who's actually gotten within DRS range of the Ferrari. That could be really good for him, but the next driver behind the top 7 is going to be heated. He's 1.8 seconds back, but I wonder if the 2 Williams drivers are going to be trying to make their way throughout the field together because they're P8, P9 right now, and they're right next to each other on track.
Yeah, it makes sense. No point them battling when they're already 2 seconds off the train. They might as well work together a little bit and try and get a bit closer. But yeah, Brandon just doesn't seem to have the pace of the top 2. He's really fallen back. He's used a lot of ERS as well. And he's fallen into the clutches of the likes of Ryan B and Major Falcon. And he's starting to fall or form a little bit of a train here is the Renault driver. So in a couple of more laps, Ryan B might fancy his chances. But of course, in the next 2 laps, you would expect soft runners to enter the pit lane and put on a fresh set of hards to the end of the race. So maybe Ryan B wants to wait to then, or maybe he'll even try and get the move done just before they pit. We'll see in the next couple of laps, but Brandon definitely doesn't have the pace to match the top 2. As Sam T starts to claw in on Frost Calvin a little bit, this lap gap down to 2.1 seconds, so this race ain't over yet.
Yeah, exactly. A little lift for these guys through turn 11 and through turn 12. You could just see the downforce that these cars are absolutely capable of. Harry Noir down in P11, the first runner on the medium tire, so it's going to be crucial for him. Has picked up a 3-second time penalty, still in the back of the train. That's not something that even really TGG Storm can say on the soft compound tires. He's on the train. Storm starting to close in ever so slightly on the McLaren in front of him, but Harry Noir is in a very strong position right now. Sam T from second place is going to be into the pits on lap number 6 here. Is going to be going to the hard tires. That's what we all expected for the Mercedes driver, but the undercut is quite powerful here just because of the pit lane exit. You're squeezed to the inside there, and turn 1 being a very tight corner that you can only carry speed through if you're on the racing line. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Sam T can do on those hard tires, and if he can possibly make up enough time on Frosty Calvin up in the front of the race.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if he can get those hards up to temp and up to working conditions straight away. From my experience anyway, it takes a lap or 2 to get those hards working. So we'll see. I expect Frosty Calvin to respond straight away. He doesn't want to let Sam T get anywhere near his DRS or into the 1 second window, of course. So I expect Frosty Calvin to come in straight away, but interested to see what Sam T can do on those hards. He's really got to put the hammer down. Maybe not to jump Frosty Calvin, but just to get a little bit closer than he was and give himself a better chance, as I expect the pit lane is going to get very busy in the next 2 laps.
Yeah, exactly. Sam T going to be the first driver to make that pit stop, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Had a big moment out of 11 and 12, and Camel's going to be all over the back of him into turn 13. He's going to try around
the
outside. No.
Yeah, that didn't work for the Ferrari driver, but Poldy Pose now right on the back of the Ferrari as well. He tried to move. The McLaren is not going to be taking the same fate. But Frosty Calvin is going to be into the pit lane. He's going to be spawning for that one. But the other two drivers, Ryan B off into the wall. He's out of the race. Ryan B's out of the race. Virtual safety car at the final corner. This is actually going to be amazing for Frosty Calvin. He's just come into the pit lane. He's going to be gaining so much time there. Samji's going to be absolutely he's just going to be so mad because of that. Ryan B out of the race. Virtual safety car. Frosty Calvin should no doubt be in the net lead of this race.
Yeah, and he's definitely gained. You can see he's gained so much with that VSC. That's a huge gain for him. Not that he needed it or anything, but he's just been given a handful of seconds right there. And the soft runners who stayed out are probably regretting not pitting that lap as the VSC came out just as they crossed the finish line. They'd be ruined their chances because they could have gained an awful lot. And look at the gap he's got now, given that Sam T had to wait. He's already got a nearly 6 second gap to Sam T now, given he pitted under the VSC. He's gained 4 seconds on Sam T just by pitting under the VSC. That's heartbreak for Sam T.
Yeah, that's what the VSC can do. It tripled the gap between the two net race leaders. Sam T is going to be so mad with that one. He's going to be just cursing the Formula One guys. He's just, it just seems super, super unlucky for the time being. But now it's going to be Brandon, Major Falcon, Camel, Poldy Bose, the guys up at the front of this race. But Brandon has a 2.7 second lead. He's going to be very unlucky not to pit as well as Sam T was. He pit 1 lap too early. Brandon looking to stay out there. So I don't want to jinx it too early, but possibly looking for a soft medium strategy for the Rhino, as well as the top 4 are all going to be staying out. But he is going to be the next driver to come into the pit lane. But now Harry Noir, he's going to be up in the 5th place on track on the medium compound tires, and he's not too far off his teammate.
Yeah, given how long these guys are going, I think you could be right. I think they could decide to go on to a set of mediums. I'm not sure if that's the greatest strat in the world, but time will tell, I guess. Just given on tyre wear is very bad here as pull more people into the pit lane going on to the set of hard tyres. Yeah, but Harry's in a great position here on those mediums. He's going to go a lot longer. He's going to go another probably 10 laps or so on those mediums, so still plenty of time. Oh god, it ran off at turn 1. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah, but now Spectre Andrade trying to challenge. He did into turn 3 here. The Red Bull on the outside of the Willens. A little bit of contact between the two drivers. They both go a little bit deep, but he should have the position. The Red Bull driver sticking his nose in there. But turn 4, and he's into the wall in the exit there. He tried to get greedy with the traction. He tried to get greedy and make that move, but he's going to be off into the wall for his troubles. He's going to be spinning around there on the curb as well, so he's going to be losing even more times. It's going to be so bad for his strategy there. Lost his front wing. He's going to have to come into the pits and make that pit stop. Before it's a Brennan who pit under the safety car. Under the virtual safety car, he's going to be down at P17. That's not going to be good for his race at all with his teammate. He's going to be comfortably in that race lead. There's something happening back further down the...
Rav had a half spin out of turn 11, or turn 10, sorry. He managed to save it, but we got more people into the pits. Brandon's still going out, so I'm convinced Brandon now is going on to a set of mediums. There's no other reason why he's staying out this long. So yeah, the rest of the guys coming in, gone very long on those softs. Probably not necessarily needed to go that long, but nonetheless, they're all putting on a set of hards. And yeah, Sam T's got an awful lot of traffic. Got to feel sorry for him as he's going to try and make a move on Jav around the outside of turn 1. It's going to be very difficult. Jav's going to keep his nose in there. He's going to push him off what? Ooh! They make a bit of contact. Jav really defending for his life. And of course, Jav needs to pit. I think he's doing Goldie a bit of a favour here by holding up. Sam T's goes very close. Goldie trying to go around the outside. Not going to happen. But yeah, Jav being a bit of a buffer here for Sam T at the moment. And it's letting Goldie have a chance of overtaking the Mercedes driver.
Yeah, it's going to be the cork in the bottle here is Jav. I was watching him, or watching Sam T in Jav as you're talking about all the guys who are going to be into the pit lane. But yeah, this is doing all the drivers behind an absolute favor. When you say a lot of traffic, Jav is considered, or could be considered in this race already. A lot of traffic. Goldie trying to get the best run as possible out of turn 9 there. Sam T will get the move done, but Jav goes off the track, and now Goldie, who's closed up so much time in the Mercedes driver, he's going to be let through as well. So right now, Sam T, Goldie, they're going to be net 1 and 2 here, but they're so far behind. They're 10.4 seconds behind the net race leader, Frosty Calvin, who's already coming through breaking into the penultimate corner here. He's 2.5 seconds off the second Mercedes driver. Storm is just coming into the pit lane, so Frosty Calvin looks to be comfortably in the lead of this race right now. But Sam T and Goldie, they're going to be battling for second place out on track as Brandon finally into the pit lane. He's going to be going on the mediums, yellow flag in sector 1. I think that's Spectre and Dunn coming out of coming out of the pit lane on those fresh hard tires. But right now, Harry Noward on the mediums, he's staying out here looking to possibly go for a set of soft tires, and he's going to be absolutely flying in this race, and he was in a good position as well.
Yeah, just go back on the Jav and Goldie instance. I think I'm going to put my org hat on for a minute, and it's not very... No, I would like to see Jav helping Goldie, just let him by straight away. And of course, we did have a real come in after Silverstone, not allowing that sort of thing. So I would expect Jav to get penalised for that, maybe, just because it was quite obvious what he was doing. He slowed down, got overtaken by Sam T, let Goldie through. And again, that's just not something we want to see here. But yeah, nonetheless, back to racing. Brandon now, right behind Goldie and Sam T, and he's on the medium, so he's going to be flying in this race. So he's lost track position, but he's got the better tyres, so I'll be interested to see what he can do in the Renault now.
Yeah, exactly. Brandon P6 right now on the track, and he's within DRS range of Sam T and Goldie, so he's in a great position here to go to the end of this one. Major Falcon past Jav into turn 11 there. Major Falcon making the move around the outside of the left-hander, but he's off into the grass and into the gravel there. The Red Bull driver of Jav, he's going to have the DRS, he's going to be back up the inside of the Haas, but they're going to be going side by side into turn 13. The Red Bull on the inside, the Haas on the outside, onto the curve, using all the track limits possible are these drivers. Spectron Don retires in the pits, Jav's Red Bull teammate, but still going side by side through the final sector here. Major Falcon's going to be on the inside for the penultimate corner. Jav goes a little bit wide and is going to have to back out of that one. So Major Falcon, would have taken longer than he would have, and he's going to be losing more time than he would have if he just didn't make that mistake on the exit of 12. He's going to be keeping the position though. He's going to be keeping P7 right now, and he does have DRS. Jav does not. So now he's going to have Cali, Poldy Poles heated all right on the back of that Red Bull. Jav dropping. He started on those hard tires, and he's really dropping. You can see just how much better those fresh tires are.
Yeah, Jav just hanging about for a safety car, I guess. There's only hope at the moment because those hards are not working well for him at all. But you got Brandon right up the back of Goldie, and this is the issue of Australia. He might have the better tires, but he cannot get close enough to warrant an overtaking manoeuvre, as it doesn't help that Goldie's also getting DRS from Sam T ahead. So he's third in the DRS train, which is never where you want to be. So he's really struggling to make best use of those medium tyres at the moment, and this is just showing why it's not the greatest strat in the world for a track so difficult to overtake on. But Harinowak doing really well on those mediums, going about it quietly. He's looking in a good position come the end of the race when he probably pits for and puts on a fresh set of softs. He will be flying compared to everyone else on hards, but yeah, Frosty Calvin is really comfortable in this race. That VSC helped him massively, and he's got a huge gap. He's an over 10-second gap to Sam T in second and Goldie, so that's just a massive advantage. I don't think he's going to be able to claw that back without a safety car.
Yeah, the battle that I was watching on board while you were talking there is Jav versus Cali. Cali looking to the inside. He's going to be switching to that inside line for turn number 1. Jav will have to let him go. He has almost no ERS. Cali had the DRS and the ERS advantage, but now Jav trying to get the switchback, trying to make that move. But the Racing Point will have the DRS. Marty's going to be out on the exit of turn 12 there, but now Jav dropping down the positions, heated, and Poldy Poles are going to be up the inside. Safety car, so that completely neutralizes Frosty Calvin's advantage there. But Harry Noward, this could be absolutely amazing for him. He could pit onto the hards and go to the end of the race, and he should be in the lead of this race, or he's going to be in the lead, or he should be in front of Vagabonds, because Vagabonds will have to pit as well on the most likely medium tires, so he's going to have an advantage there. But this could actually hurt Harry Noward, because he's going to have to go on the hard side, have to imagine, but he's going to be up in the top 3. So is this a good or a bad thing for the McLaren?
I think this is a good thing for, well, it's not good, but it's not bad in the sense that he got to go onto a set of hards, but he will have a fresh set of hards compared to everyone else, and it doesn't matter if they're hards or not, he's still going to have some sort of advantage, and I think he might come out in just ahead of Sam T and Goldie. It's going to be extremely close, but yeah, as I was just saying at the start of the lap, the only way I see Sam T getting close to Frosty Calvin is a safety car, so commentator's curse has struck again here, as Harinowak has pitted, and it is going to be a set of hards that he's going to go on to. Be interested to see if anyone else decides to pit. I'd be surprised if the people that Vagabonds of course has to pit as well, but anyone else I'd be very surprised. And whereas Harry is going to be very close. I think Sam T and Goldie are going to come out ahead of him. Harinowak might just come out ahead of Brandon. No, Brandon's out ahead of Harinowak, but he's getting massively. He's up to P5 considering where he started. He cannot complain. He started all the way down in 12th place, so he's got 7th position again. He's on fresh hards, so he's looking in a decent position right now, is Harry.
Yeah, Jav has stayed out. That's questionable decision from Mr. Javier. But yeah, Frosty Calvin is going to be up in the lead of the race, not deciding to take not taking the decision to pull into the pit lane fit a fresh set of medium tires. It could be a good decision for him, but once again, my strategy calls are not the greatest, so please don't listen to me ever. So yeah, Frosty Calvin will be leading this one under the safety car, followed by Sam T. Goldie. Brendan on the medium tires, they aren't exactly fresh, but they only have 3 racing laps on them. Harry DeWark on the fresh hards. He's going to be a challenger later on in this one. Callie Poldy-Pose, he did all on relatively fresh hards as well. Jav on those 13-lap old hards. He has yet to pit in this race in P9. Storm in P10 right now on, once again, relatively fresh medium tires, followed by Jordan in Bag of Bones right now, who's in the final points position, but is on fresh soft tires, so he could really make his way through the field here, but I think he's most definitely should have to pit again here. There's no way he's going to take those to the end, so possibly banking on another safety car.
He's going to be very quick at this safety car restart. He's going to fly very quickly, but if he can make those tires last to the end, I will be shocked. Someone else that this safety car is going to help is Forza Brendan, of course, who had that spin earlier on in the race. He found himself in 15th and last of the runners. The championship leader, this is a lifeline that he needs on a fresh set of mediums, and most of the drivers in front of him are on hards with a bit of wear, not too bad, but they have a bit of age to them, and the mediums will be quicker, so we'll be hoping to pick up at least a handful of points this race and just salvage something after that poor, he had a poor qualifying, and then that mistake ultimately ended his chances of any good results. So, as I think Jav has let Heated by. I think Jav just let Heated by under the safety car. I'm not sure why he's done that, but yeah, fair enough, I guess.
How is that even possible? How can you let someone buy it in the safety? This makes no sense.
I don't know if Jav went off track or if something happened. I'm not sure what happened there, but nonetheless, Jav's still out there on those hards, and I guess I presume the safety car will be in this lap as the field have caught up, and I expect we go racing again at the end of this lap.
Yeah, just supporting some of my. That's close. Supporting some of my other compatriots in the other divisions right now in a few of the stream chats. But I think someone wanted to ask if you can, he wants to know if he can join the league. So maybe you should attend to that, Mr. Head of PS4 F1. He can just. Just have to drop his PSN down in the comments, and I'll have a look.
You know him anyway as well, so it's fine.
Well, I guess. But yeah, Frosty Calvin is is going to be leading this one, as the safety car will be in this lap. The lights on top of the safety car have gone out. So let's see what he can do on this restart. He's going to have 1 lap fresher tires than Santee, which could be absolutely crucial. He got very, very lucky with that VSC, but is not going to be, or he's still leading, but that 10 plus second advantage is going to be absolutely gone. He's going to be under pressure now from Sam T. This is going to be the first time Sam T can really challenge him after lap 1. But Frosty Calvin going through the third to last corner right now, trying to get some rear tire temp in those hard compound tires. He hasn't gone yet. He's still in second gear, just on the run up to the penultimate corner. It's going to be interesting to see what Brandon can do as well on this restart. Frosty Calvin yet to go here. You would have expected him to possibly go, but out of the final corner, he looks to be going. He's punched the throttle, has a little bit of slide on the overtake, but Santee is nowhere near him. Goldie is going to be the next driver going to be the driver closest to the driver in front of him here at the front of the field, but Goldie not going to be close enough. Santee trying to get tire temperature on the pit straight. Poldy-Poles and Sal Cali going side by side into turn 1. The McLaren will be squeezed out, but Heat is going to be up that position. Poldy-Poles dropping down. He's lost 2 positions there on the restart. Goldie and Santee going side by side into turn 3. The Mercedes on the inside, the Williams on the outside. A little bit of contact on the front axis here. This is exactly what happened on lap 1 for Sam T. He's gotten into a battle with someone behind him. He's now dropped so much time to Frosty Calvin. He's going to be leading this one quite easily for the time being, but Goldie and Sam T picks up a penalty after ghost contact. He's off into the wall. He's lost his front end plate. That's going to be absolutely crucial for Sam T. He's off the road. He's going to be losing so many positions there. Possible lag contact there, but now Frosty Calvin leading once again by 2.3 seconds. This is exactly what happened just 15 laps ago. Sam T retires on track.
That's so unfortunate for Sam T. He was ghosted on my screen anyway, and he just seems, we've had it before, the ghosting system not being up to scratch by Codemasters, and Goldie and Sam T have made contact without actually making contact, and it's just unfortunate for Sam T to come out of the worst on that. And Yeah, Frosty Calvin just had deja vu of lap one. He's got over a 2 second gap to the driver behind, so he's going to be loving life. We know he's got Goldie behind him instead of Sam T. It's quite a shame because I think Sam T actually had good pace, considering if he looked after lap one, he was actually matching Frosty Calvin a lot of the race. So that is a shame that Sam T is now out of this race. But, this gives Brandon a great chance. Brandon's got no pains, he's on better tyres, and he's got 2.5 seconds or 3 seconds to catch up to Frosty Calvin on the mediums. That is definitely doable if we can put the head down and start pumping out the laps.
Yeah, exactly. But right now, the Irishman of Forza Brennan trying to make his way past ISRL Jordan. There is no DRS for the time being as the Ram for tires in the pit lane. So Jav will be taking P13 one place out of the points and paying positions right now. But Forza Brennan trying to make the move on ISRL Jordan on those fresh mediums. He's right on the back of the Alfa Romeo, but just not close enough. This is what happens here in Australia. But up at the lead of the race, Frosty Calvin, as you mentioned, deja vu from lap number 1. He's going to be leading this one on a repetition of lap number 2 here. Goldie trying to close him down. He's getting a little bit of time there on the exit of turn 10. So starting to get himself into a possible chance of winning this race. There's 13 laps left here at the Melbourne Grand Prix circuit. But right now, Harry Nawar looks to be the quickest driver out of the train here for second place.
Yeah, he's a man on a mission right now. He can sniff a podium opportunity. He's not had the greatest season by his standards, Harry. He's a league veteran. I've known him for quite a long time. I hate to say it. Yeah, nonetheless, he is on a charge. With those fresh hards, the longer the race goes on, the better opportunity he will have, as DRS is now enabled after 2 laps after the safety car. Of course, now DRS gets re-enabled. So that's going to help the likes of himself and Brandon, who is still hanging in the coattail of Goldie, just about staying in his DRS. He doesn't seem to have pace, surprisingly. Even on those mediums, he is struggling for some pace, and it's a shame to see he just can't get the best use out of them, as the field's starting to really bunch up from third downwards.
Yeah, someone who's really using those mediums to his advantages. Forza Brendan still right on the back of ISRL Jordan, but just cannot make that move. Jordan on half the ERS, even less than half of the ERS that Forza Brendan, the Alpha Tower just behind, is on. So Jordan trying to stick with the drivers in front of him. Is 2 laps older tires, but Forza Brendan on those 6 lap fresher medium tires just cannot get the move done. Jordan should have DRS on the way down towards turn 13, but you can just see the red light flashing on the back of the Alfa Romeo. That's going to be taunting Forza Brennan to make that move, but Jordan a little bit loose off the exit of turn 12. The Alpha Tower looking to have the run, using his overtake, using the DRS. He's going to be close enough into turn 13. He sends it up the inside, and he's going to be making the corner. The Alfa Romeo Jordan trying to get the switchback into turn 14 here, but he's going to have to back out of that one. Forza Brennan, fair enough, gave him the room to be racing in that final sector. It's normally quite difficult when you guys are pushing to the absolute limit, but Forza Brennan, after a mistake from Jordan, is going to be up into P9, absolutely sending on the brakes. It's one of the better moves we've seen in this race so far, but now he has an even tougher mountain to climb. All the drivers in front of him, bar Excel Cali, have DRS.
That's a great move, I have to say, by Forza Brennan down at turn 14, not the place you or turn 13, not the place you normally see overtakes. It was quite a bit of a lunge, but to be fair, there was no contact made, so you have to applaud it. But now he's in the DRS train, and this is where, like you said, life's going to get very difficult for him, as he's got 5 drivers all together, as something's gone on. What happened?
Major Falco went off at turn number 5 there, just off into the grass. He won't have any damage, but he's going to get a ton of grass on those medium tires.
Yeah, and now we got Brandon right on the back of Goldie now. He's using a lot of overtake to try and get close. Goldie's got over double the amount of ERS compared to the Renault driver, but nonetheless, Brandon's going to give it a go. He just can't seem to follow through 11 and 12. Extremely difficult. We all know it caused a dirty air, and that's allowing Arena Walk just to hang in there. And he's just waiting. He's just seeing if something comes out of this. He's going to be there to pick up the pieces. As the battle for the podium really hotting up. As XL Cali just doesn't seem to have the pace to match these 3 guys. He's catching slowly but surely, but that older tires aren't going to do him any favour. He gets all out of shape out of the final corner. That gives Heated a sniff of a chance to maybe have a look, not into turn 1, but into turn 3. It's all about setting up now, get as close as you can out of the exit of 1 and 2. And he's going to try to brake a bit too late into turn 1. And yeah, he's just not going to be close enough. The straight isn't long enough to warrant an overtaking position here. But Yeah, Francis Calvin, he does have good pace. But you have to say, he's been quite fortunate in the fact that he's managed to get such a big gap on both restarts, because he hasn't actually, he never pulled away from Sam T really, if you look at the gap, and then the same thing's happened with Goldie, so he's quite fortunate. It's a bit of a shame actually that he's managed to pull over 2 seconds each time we've gone racing, as Storm's going to have a look at Goldie, or into Goldie's teammate, into turn 9. I'm going to have the inside line, backs out because that curve is very lead. As far as Brendan does the exact same thing but makes a move, stick into turn 9, and now it's up to P8, and he's absolutely flying right now as the Irishman.
Yeah, most definitely. On those fresh medium tires, he has the freshest tires out of everyone bar Harry Noir, but his on softer compound is Heated picks up a time penalty. I think that's going to be his first in this race so far. Everyone who has a time penalty is on 3 seconds right now, so they're going to be dropping down the field. So right now, the American of Brendan assuming that second place on the podium, but Goldie's going to be taking third place for what would be the third time this season. If he can keep it on track there, just in front of Harry Noir, and can keep the gap to Callie, who seems to be really struggling on those hard compound tires. He has the second oldest tires are in the field. Or no, he's tied for the most worn tires in the field with Goldie and Calvin, and he's the last out of these guys, so he's going to be really struggling. All the drivers behind him have fresher tires. Heated closing up to the back of the racing point, but not close enough this time. We also saw Storm, who was closing up, but now Forza Brendan on the fresh mediums is also closing up to the back of Storm and to the back of that rear wing of the Mercedes. Storm getting a little bit wide off the exit of turn 4 there, and Forza Brendan licking his lips. You could just see his prey struggling on those older medium tires.
Yeah, he is a man on the mission right now, as XL Cali just seems to be struggling at the moment in P5. He's doing well, you have to say, but he doesn't have the pace up to top 4, and he's creating a bit of a train. He's got a 4-man train at the moment of himself. Heated, Storm, and Forza Brendan, and they've all got pens except the lead train which is XL Cali, so they're all going to be battling away, trying to gain whatever positions they can, especially Forza Brendan. Like I said, any points is a bonus for him now. As he gets a great exit of 11 and 12, is he going to have another look into turn 13? Yes, he is. Storm just cannot deal with the pace advantage that Forza Brendan has at the moment, and down the inside goes Forza Brendan and up into P7. So he can, P6 isn't out of range for Forza Brendan at the moment. For P6 for him, I think he'd be very happy with it if he can get ahead of Heated before the end of the race.
Yeah, he's going to be dropping that championship lead, though. If he does get up into P6, he'll be picking up 8 points, but Frosty Calvin, up at the front of the race, will be picking up that 25. We can take a quick look at the fastest lap of the race once I can find it. But yeah, it is going to be Major Falcon right now on P10, and he's just set that, he's going to be on the fastest lap of the race right now. Forza Brennan trying to close up to the back of Heated. The Williams driver is a little bit low on ERF, but will regain some into the braking zone of turn 3. He's right on the back of the racing point. I'm surprised he hasn't been able to make this move, but if you look at the tires, that is the story of this one right now. Forza Brennan on the fresh mediums has been making his way through the field, but Heated, one lap pressure. Oh, he's almost off the track. There, he's made a mistake on the exit of turn 6 there. He's going to be dropping 2, maybe 3 positions. Pulley pulls in the McLaren, possibly looking to make the move into turn 9. The McLaren's going to be up the inside of the Williams driver, and is going to be having that position gained. Heated drops down from P6 all the way down to P9, but now this is a perfect opportunity for Forza Brennan. He can possibly make the move on Cali and get up onto the top 4, but he has a 2.5 second disadvantage to the guys in front of him, and he has a 3-second time penalty, so this could actually be really good for Forza Brennan if he can pull out that gap.
Yeah, amazingly, a podium isn't out of the reach at the moment, of course, because you've got Harry, and Goldie. Both have 3-second pens. Brandon's the only one that is clean, or him and Frost Calvin in the top 4, the only 2 that are clean at the moment. So it's unlikely, but Forza Brennan not out of the shout of the podium. Definitely could still manage a 4th place here, which would be a great result for him considering what happened to him. He was dead last after spinning. Feels like an eternity ago now, but this safety car has re-energized his race, and he's taken this chance by the scruff of the neck and is doing everything he can to get as many points as he possibly can. Now, XL Cali, we've seen already, he's defended great against Heated for many laps, so it'll be interesting to see how quickly, or if at all, Brendan can get past him.
Yeah, exactly right now. Forza Brennan on the fresh medium tires is starting to close in onto the gearbox of that racing point, but up at the front of the field, Frosty Calvin is pulling away from Goldie. 3.5 is the gap now between the 2 leaders of the race, and Brennan on those medium tires are going to be starting to fall off. Those medium tires are going to be starting to lose a little bit of grip towards the later stages of this race, but he's still half a second behind the Williams driver. Harry Noir on those fresh hards doing very well, doing very good as well. P4 on track right now, but would be dropping that one position to Cali, but Harrington Warwick started 12th. I'm sure he'd be pretty happy with that one, getting 7, possibly 8 positions here in the Australian Grand Prix. But now Forza Brendan starting to eye up Excel Cali. He had made a little bit of a mistake there on the exit of turn 12, but he's closing in throughout the rest of the final sector. Cali seems to be pulling away a little bit on the second phase of these exits, but now Forza Brendan closer than ever on to lap number 24 for these drivers. Cali doesn't have the DRS, but Forza Brendan will. Off the back of the Racing Point, can he make the move into turn 1? He's going to look for it, but he's going to back off of that one, possibly just looking for the better run out of turn 2 here, trying to get the move done into turn 3 and be able to pull away, use those fresh and medium tires, but he's not going to be close enough. TTG Storm, who's a little bit of an underlier here in this race. He only has that one-time penalty, and he's right on the back of Forza Brendan. He's been slowly falling his way through with the AlphaTauri. So actually, Storm is also in a pretty decent position here to possibly pick up really good points as he actually picks up his second-time penalty. He's going to be the only driver on 6 seconds, so that's going to really hinder his progress in this one.
Yeah, the thing that's helped is Forza Brendan going to have to try another go into turn number 9. This has been his hunting ground for most of the race. XL Cali defends, they close the door. But XL Cali's ERS management is saving him right now. He's got over double the amount of Forza Brendan, and he's just been able to use that on the straights to not let Forza Brendan get close enough to warrant an overtaking manoeuvre. So yeah, XL Cali put on a great defensive display at the moment, and he's only got 5 more laps to go if he wants to hold on to this P5. Even though Forza Brendan has a 3-second time penalty, he doesn't want to let him by, because he is on those fresher, quicker mediums. So although it's unlikely, he might still be able to pull 3 seconds on XL Cali. So he's just going to try and hold him up for as long as possible.
Yeah, most definitely there. Let's see if he can get and close that gap down on to lap number 25 for these drivers. He's not going to be close enough into turn 1, but what can he do on to turn 3? Let's see if he can get a better exit here on lap number 25. It looks like he had a pretty decent one, but it was almost equal with Cali. It would have been a pretty good exit if he had, or if he was closer to the back of the Racing Point. He would have had better slipstream and a better momentum into turn 3, but not going to be close enough once again. He's not going to be moving himself up into P5 quite yet, but this gap that's actually really, really close right now. It's Major Falcon and Heated. Ooh, Major Falcon getting on the grass, touching the curb at turn 5. Lucky not to go, the gearbox past the front of his car there, not go spinning off into a wall or barrier, possibly bringing out a safety car. But yeah, Major Falcon right now in P10 doing pretty well. But also we have to mention Jav right now is scoring 1 point. Bag of Bones on those fresh softs, who does have fastest lap, has yet, or is not going to be scoring for the time being. But now Forza Brendan and Cali going to go side by side into turn number 11. The AlphaTauri will have the inside line with him, and he's going to have the position with him for the time being. But now Cali trying to fight this back. Forza Brendan all over the grass. He's going to be defending the inside line from the Racing Point driver, who's around the outside. Forza Brendan, the Irishman, is going to be having a big slide out of turn 13 there. But now he made the move. He showed his hand, and now he's going to have to try even harder to make this move past Cali.
Yeah, Polypole's got a move done into turn 13 as well while that was going on, and moved up himself into P7. And he's got so much more ERS than everyone else around him. He's got 50% compared to Brendan's 5 and Cali's 10. As he's going to have a look down into turn 1, he's going to brake very late on the brakes. That's a great move once again by the Irishman on the AlphaTauri, and then Polypole's going to be all over the back of the Racing Point of XL Cali. He's got so much more ERS. He should be able to make this move down in the inside of turn 3.
Heated in behind, trying to make the move on TTG Storm as well. So lap 26, it's all kicking off here in Division 4. Forza Brendan makes the move for P5 on track. Polypoles will make the move as well. He could possibly picking up 4th place here. Well, I think it's only going to be 5th for the time being with the time penalties. But now Forza Brendan has to absolutely punch it if he wants to create that gap to the drivers behind. He's broken DRS for the time being with the drivers fighting. But now Polypoles, Cali, Storm, who's right on the back of the Racing Point, right on the back of that Mercedes gearbox of the Racing Point. He's going to be super, super close to him, but he's really low on ERS, so not gonna. I don't think he should be able to make that move for right now. It doesn't have the greatest effect off of turn 12, so it's not going to be helping him either. But he did right now. 17 lap old hard tires. He tried to make the move on Storm into turn 3 with all the chaos up in front of these guys, but right now Heated, he's actually in a pretty decent position. He only has the 1-time penalty, and he's in front of Major Falcon, so P9 I don't think would be too bad for Heated.
Yeah, but you know, in Heated he wants more, but nonetheless he will not be complaining, I guess, about that position. But yeah, Brandon, his namesake, has really dropped off these last couple of laps. His mediums are really starting to die, and that's letting Harry in with a chance. And Forza Brendan not really making the gains he needs to if he wants to have any chance of getting 4th place, and Paulie Pole is sticking with him for the time being. So that's 1 place at least he's going to lose, and maybe even 2, because XL Cali is still hanging about and still within that 3-second window as Bag of Bones picks up another penalty, and he's at 13th in the rear field. He's not really in a contender this race, unfortunately for him. But yeah, it's all starting to heat up for P5 with only 3 laps to go.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying to find a little bit of something to talk about. Heaton I think, is the closest gap out on track. Bar Herdewark and Brandon fighting for that P3 right now. I don't think he is going to be able to make that move because Storm has DRS up in front of him. But right now, Frosty Calvin leading us through the final, through the final sector for the 3rd to last time. 3.5 seconds is his lead, but Harry Noir and Brandon going side by side. Harry Noir tried around the outside, but Brandon picks up a time penalty. That's going to be a 2nd time penalty out there on track. The Renault will stay in P3 for the time being. Or actually, no, that was Brandon's 1st time penalty. So he's only, is that Heated? He just spun on those hard tires out of turn 13.
Wow. That's him out of contention of getting any points probably. And yeah, poor for the Williams driver. I couldn't get my words out for a second, but yeah, he's fallen all the way down to P11. So Jav's a good bit away from him, so he might just be able to hang on to P11. But Harina was all over the back of Brandon now. Brandon really struggling on those mediums. You can see as Frosty Calvin picks up a time penalty. Not gonna matter though. Goldie also has one himself. It would have been very, very close if he didn't have a penalty. Before Brandon picks up another time penalty. That's going to be huge for him. He's going to drop a lot of places now. He's going to drop 2. He's not going to drop anymore because the 2 drivers behind him, behind Paulie Pole and Cali also have 6 extra penalties. So it's not going to matter too much in the end. It's nonetheless still a shame, as Harry is going to try his very best to get past Brandon and yeah, try and get that podium. This is what it's going to come down to. Brandon only on 5% ERS, Goldie or Harry on 30%. So he's got plenty more ERS. He needs to get a close tab into this last sector and try and do something in turn 1 or turn 3 if he wants a podium this race.
Yeah, most definitely right now. But Frosty Calvin is just about to lead us on to the final lap here for the Australian Grand Prix. Round number 7 for these Division 4 drivers. He's going to be crossing the line just now on 25 flat. 7 tons off his personal best, and he's going to be absolutely flying. Goldie's been recently trying to close him in, but Brandon's starting to fall off the back of the Williams driver. Harry Noir has probably, if he's not going to be able to make the move into turn 3, he only has one opportunity into turn 13 to make that move. He's a little bit further back. He's going to have to get closer if he wants to make the move. But his McLaren teammate making the move for P5 on track. He had that position on time penalties anyways, but he's going to make the move. His Major Falcon and TGG Storm going side by side in turn 3. Storm, a little bit of contact between the 2 drivers. He has to correct himself. He has to correct the car and will be dropping down into P9. But let's get back on board with the battle of Paulie Poles and Forza Brandon. They're getting very, very close out on track, as well as Harry Noir and Brandon. These gaps are beginning to get very, very close. Excel Cali on those old hard tires. He's without DRS range now, but Major Falcon in behind does not have DRS either. Looking on board now with Harry Noir. Let's see what he can do. Into turn 13. I don't think he's going to be close enough. A little bit of a lockup, interestingly enough. At least the audio cue was there. But on the final lap, I don't think Harry Noir is going to be close enough. He used all of his ERS, all 30%. On all 16 quarters here. Well, if I can pull up my track map, 5.3 kilometers of the Melbourne Grand Prix circuit is not going to be able to pull that one off. But Frosty Calvin exiting the final quarter. He's going to be weaving to the line. He's going to take his 2nd race win of the season, followed by Goldie, who will take his 2nd place of the season, and Brandon, the American, finishing in P3. But I think Paulie Pose is going to get his 1st podium here in League of Europe. The McLaren driver, a great drive, no penalties, and he's going to be picking up that final position on the podium. Yeah,
great race by the McLaren team overall in 4th and 5th. I don't think they had the greatest qualifying position. Well, Paulie Pose started in 6th. So nothing wrong with that. Harina walked down in 12th, getting up to 5th. Yeah. Great. I think Bag of Bones and Jav have made contact at the last corner for the last point. So not entirely sure what's happened there. But yeah, nonetheless, great race. Only 13 finishers, so Australia did take a lot of killers and took a lot of cars really. And yeah, Frosty Calvin took the win and is now able to take the championship lead once again.
Yeah, Frosty Calvin, who dropped the championship lead in China. He's going to be retaking it assertively. Pole position by 8/10 to Sam T, who was caught up in an incident, but now Sam T will be retaking that lead of the championship. Let's see what we can do in the rest of the season. The two Alpha Towers look really strong. A little bit of a tripping ground there for Forza Brennan, but he's able to get pretty decent points considering his race. But it's the Belgian of Frosty Calvin. He's going to be winning the Australian Grand Prix. Looking throughout the rest of the results, the Dutchman of Poldy Poles will be taking P3. Brendan, the American who's predicted for Killer's Instinct to have a pretty good race, he's going to be finishing P4. Harry Noir, Excel Cali, Forza Brennan, Major Falcon, TTG Storm, Jordan, Heated, and Jaff will be picking up all the points positions. Bagabone's the only driver to finish the race outside of the points. Ramp, Samty, Marty, Camel, Spectron, Don, and Ryan B are your retirees. But yeah, great race there. It's pretty much a race that we expected from Australia, just with a little bit more action.
Yeah, we see how difficult it was for drivers to overtake and how deadly the track is. We see many retirements, but nonetheless, this race once again blows the championship wide open. As you have people like Forza Brendan, the championship leader, only in P7, and Frosty Calvin, his teammate, now taking the lead. But good race for Goldie, gets his championship charge back on track, and he'll be looking for a few more races like that. So yeah, still plenty to fight for, as we still got plenty more races to go.
Yeah, exactly. Only 15 minutes until we get to Division 2 and Division 5 action. You go check myself and Gary out there on the Division 2 stream with Daniel Hargard and Aiden Carter in the commentary booth for that one. It's sad that we can't do interviews at Division 4 because of the time crunch, but yeah, Frosty Calvin retakes the championship lead, and Poldy Poles scoring his first podium in LOE. It's been a great race there from Division 4, and that's been all, folks.